guys, here we go, back on the Cape Haze Pioneer Trail. And this is off of Sailor Way, I guess. $10.26. It's our last day here in Port Charlotte, so I thought we'd revisit the Cape Haze Pioneer rail trail. We can call this a rail trail. Used to be an old railroad back in the day. Should be about 20 miles round trip. Morning. Last day here in Port Charlotte. Tomorrow, I think, all being well, we're gonna be heading into the Orlando area, and we're gonna get on the West Orange Trail. West Orange Trail, just north of Orlando and Winter Park. Got a couple days in between house sits. Next one house sit we got is in Orlando, just down the road from Disneyland. Of all the trails that I've been on, I think I like this one the best. And I think this is just about the only rail trail in the area, so that has to tell you something. This is the new asphalt they just put down recently. This particular trail, if you didn't see my last video, I believe it goes down about 10 miles, just under 10 miles. Just up to the entrance of the Gasparilla toll plaza, where it goes on the right along the Gulf of America. So I'm gonna tell you about a couple different product lines that I use, being a nomad. And the one thing that has really helped me out, since I'm on a fixed income, I get my Social Security check coming in this week, or this month. It'll be Wednesday, and this is going to come in handy, especially my next 2 days. I'm going to have to find a hotel room or an Airbnb, and the product I ran into was it's called Klarna, and it's a really nice program. It doesn't cost you a dime, and what it does is you go on to any website that you want. You want Airbnb. The other one I use it on is Royal Caribbean, and Amazon. And what you can do is shop as usual, and a lot of times these websites will have an option for you for payment, or if they don't have it, you can go on the Klarna and sign on and go through Amazon on the Klarna site. And then when it comes to payment, there's a couple different options you can do it. Let me go through Amazon first. Amazon, once you decide to buy something and you go through the process of checking out, and then you get to the payment section, you go on, you're on the Klarna site, and let's say your payment comes out to $100. So you go on Klarna and you request a virtual credit card for that amount, for $100. And once you're approved, I mean, they give you a varying line of credit, and I should say it's probably kind of is a credit. It automatically spits out a virtual credit card, so you can copy that credit card number, expiration, and 3-digit code, and go through the checkout, add it as a new payment card. Here's another trailhead here. You can add that new credit card. It's good just for that amount. Let's say it's $100. They'll spit you an amount of $100. You can go up to like 5% more that it'll cover any shipping or anything like that. So they may give you $105, and then whatever the bill comes out to be, let's say it comes down to 100, then they just reduce the amount that you would owe. But anyways, you go through there, and you can check out with that virtual credit card, and you're good to go. It's just like you're paying with your own money. Now, what's the big deal with Klarna? Well, instead of coming up with $100 to pay it in full, you can spread your payments out over four payments every 2 weeks. So you'll usually need to come up with 1/4% or a quarter of that amount, so $25 paid to Klarna, and then every 2 weeks you pay whatever that amount is. In my example, it's $100, so they every 2 weeks you just pay $25, which is really nice if you're on a fixed income, and you can spread the payments out, and it's no interest. There's no additional charge. I don't know how they do it. I guess there's a couple other plans that you can sign up for, but this particular plan is there's no extra fee, there's no interest rate that you have to pay, so you pay your 4 payments and you're out of there. That's an example with Amazon. I've used it a couple times on Airbnb. I love that with Airbnb. Oh, look at that. Some kind of lizard. On Airbnb, they actually have a Klarna button. If you ever get on Airbnb and you go through the process of checking out, you just check the Klarna box, and then you're going directly through Klarna. And that's what I'm doing with my stay starting the 23rd and to the 25th. It's coming up to almost $200, $100 a night. So the $200, instead of coming up with $200, I just paid them a 1/4% or a quarter of that, which was $50, and then I'm paying $50 every 2 weeks. It saves you time and money. You can just spread those payments out. It's a really neat program. If you look at it, I'll put a link in my description. And they got some promotional deal. I forgot what it was now. So another money-saving deal I found out about was upscale, upscale, and that can save you big time on gas. It's good just about anywhere in the country. You can download the app. It'll have gas discounts, it'll have grocery discounts, it'll have restaurant discounts, and you can get a percentage back. So if I want to find a place that's got good gas, I just open up the app. It's got my location, and I think the last time I used it, they were giving up to 25 cents off a gallon, which is pretty good. So let's say gas is let's say it's $3, so you get 25 cents off. You get down to $2.75 a gallon. So once you pay for the gas, you're still paying at $3 a gallon, but you're actually paying $2.75 a gallon. So whatever that difference is, 25 cents a gallon, you get back. And once it goes into your virtual bank account, you can request, and it'll go back onto your, I think it goes back onto your credit card or your bank's, depending on how you got it set up. This is the first time I've ever had any people on the trail to pass. We're going to give them a little toot-toot. Thank you. Good morning. So upscale is a pretty neat program. Morning. So that'll help you out. And I'll give you a referral code in the description for that as well. And I'll list on there the type of promo program that they're running right now. This is one of the other, that's the other trailhead. Yeah, so we get back, we'll end up putting the e-bike in the trunk and get ready to push off tomorrow. And I think I've made it my goal to do the West Orange Trail in Orlando, or Winter Park, technically. It's another rail-to-trail adventure. One thing I heard about on YouTube was YouTube is kind of asking creators to provide longer videos. They want to turn YouTube into more like a TV show special, which means longer videos. Most people try to do videos anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes long. And YouTube is starting to push longer videos, which is good for me because I got, you know, long videos. Some people like them, some people don't, but that's what YouTube is. Seems like they're going to be pushing more longer videos, you know, like a TV. So you watch, you stay on there, and you'll get to see more content, you know, from that one creator, which a lot of people really like, you know, the longer format, because they want to get into this stuff, and that's perfect for me because I already do that. I've got longer videos. For me, I just like doing the real-time, if you want to call it that, the video bike ride. If you start editing these videos down to 15-20 minutes, you lose a lot of the scenery, the ambiance of the trail. So I've always wanted to stick around, you know, being able to just relax in your recliner and just watch on the big screen TV. That's one thing I've always noticed too. I think about 75% of my audience watches on the big screen TV. And I thought it would be, you know, people, you know, on smartphones or iPads and stuff, but it ain't. So people like big screen, and you know, the views, you know, from the GoPro just makes you more immersed in the ride. So if you watch other videos, you're going to see them, especially if YouTube gives preference to those people who have longer video formats. You're going to see a lot of creators lengthening out their videos. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. You know, I mean, they were doing a lot of different stuff. I think about 6 months ago they were pushing shorts a lot, and a lot of the people that come to my channel come from my shorts that I've been putting out. YouTube allows you to reference a video after the short, and they can click on that, you know, if they like e-biking. So yeah, YouTube is always changing. They're always trying to, you know, keep everybody's interest. And I like the long video formats as far as watching other people's videos. And you know, I always feel the shorter videos leave me, I guess it's two-pronged. They're either too short, and then they, you know, get you back for watching again. So yeah, I'm going to the Orlando area, and I think I'll probably be buying that 10 amp hour battery that's been on Marketplace for a while. I'm going to see if I can contact him and arrange to make the purchase probably, what's today, Monday? Probably Wednesday, as soon as my Social Security check comes in. Yeah, I haven't seen anybody on the golf course here. I wonder if they're still closed or what. I think technically this is the end of the Cape Haze Trail. They're going to tar here today. Like some fresh oil. Morning. There should be some standing water in here on the trail. wanted to do this last time, but I didn't see it till the last second. I want to of the Cape Haze Pioneer Trail. Boca Grande Causeway. So this one we're going to be on the way to the Rotunda subdivision, and if you saw on the Relive app, it gives you an aerial view of the Rotunda subdivision. It's kind of a unique set of streets there. They're all going in a circle. So we're going to go through that subdivision, and then we'll get back on the trail again. It comes in about midway point of the Cape Haze. We're not too far from the Gulf of America. There it is. Got one little bay to go across, and then it's Gulf of America on the other side of that inlet. .1 miles, 29 minutes on the seat. If you saw my video yesterday about a harbor walk in Punta Gorda, I was kind of disappointed about that. They kind of really talked up that was a really nice trail, and I get it. You know, they just had a hurricane a year ago, and I think a lot of the repairs are still waiting to be funded. So, which is fine with me. I don't care if it's going to take a while to get funded or anything. I prefer it just the way it was. Yeah, they got slapped with Hurricane Milton last year in October, I think it was. That whole downtown area where I was biking was underwater. They must have really done a job on the Best Western that was just on the other side of the bridge coming into Punta Gorda, because they tore it down. So they must have had some major destruction on it. And also they had a hospital that was just down the road there as well. And that hospital is still closed, or it's God, you know, if they abandon that thing, that's a big expense. If they're gonna, imagine it got flooded. There was a sign on the door, closed due to flooding. And the cost of trying to get things sanitized again and cleaned out, so it's a respectable hospital. It's going to be a big task. And I noticed it all when I was going up and down Tamiami Trail there. I mean, there were a lot of businesses that were still closed or went out of business because of the flooding. I imagine they I don't know, must have been from a storm surge or something. Because if I remember right, Milton was still offshore, but they hit the right quadrant of the hurricane that produced, I forgot what I heard, maybe about 8 feet of storm surge. Just a lot. Publix grocery stores are like Walmarts around here. They're all over the place. I always liked the Publix in Bradenton where I lived back in 2000. They would always carry your groceries out to your car for you. I kind of felt offended. So it's usually left for you know, the elderly. So this is Cape Haze. I didn't know if it were Cape, you know, if that was the actual city, but I guess it is a city. I saw a sign there. So I found out watching YouTube there's a feature on your iPhone that'll turn off robocalls. It's in the settings, and then you put search for phone, and then you go down the menu to block any number that comes to your phone that's not on your contact list, and you make sure that's on. And since I turned that on, I have not received a single call from these spammers. Now that can be good and bad, because if it's not on your contact list and you're expecting a call from maybe your doctor or something like that, you're not going to see it unless they leave a voicemail. Then you'll be able to see who left you a message, which is fine, because you know, I always screen my calls, you know, they're not on my contact list, that's fine, you know, that's what I want. You know, I was getting about, oh geez, it had to have been a good 20 to 30 calls a day. Glad I found that out. Don't know if it's available for Android. I'm sure there is. You know, I've never been an Androider. Road work. Let's see how they got the place screwed up. Oh, they're just paving the side roads. Nice of him in the backup. Yes, as far as my videos with people that like closed captioning, a number of months ago it disappeared, and I did not have the feature on there on my YouTube Studio for captioning. I complained to YouTube about it. They said, well, you know, there's this and that and the other, but slowly it's coming back. I don't know if this one's going to have closed captioning or not, but I found out that my smaller length videos have more closed captioning than my longer ones. Now I don't know, because of my longer ones, if it takes longer to go through the video to perform the closed captioning function. But usually I've got about a 3 to 5 day span between videos. You know, like today's, what's today, the 22nd? It'll be coming out the 26th or 27th. So 5 days of sitting in the vault should allow it to go through the video and do its work. So hang in there if you like the closed captioning. It's a hit and miss right now, but it's slowly coming back. I still do not have the button on my account, you know, like you're supposed to have. But as more and more videos get the ability to have closed captioning on it, hopefully it's going to come back. Alright, so now we're making the turn to go on Rotunda subdivision, and we got a couple straight shots on the roadway to do. Once we get into the subdivision itself, I believe I'm going to jump on the bike lane. Currently there is no bike lane out here, but the sidewalk is big enough that I'm not really worried about it. But last time I was on here, they had a really nice wide bike lane on both sides once you got into the Rotunda subdivision. All right, here we go. A couple armadillos got ran over. Alright, so I think up at the next stop sign is, yep, that's where the bike lane starts. So as soon as we get up there, we'll cross over onto the other side and we'll take that bike lane. This is the Rolanda West entrance. start of the bike lane. It's a really nice bike lane. I mean, plus they got this little extra cushion, so you don't have cars knocking on your handlebars. For rent. Well, I tell you, I don't know how much money I've saved being a nomad, doing this house sitting. Well, that's another thing I can tell you too. If you're interested in doing house sitting like I'm doing, you don't have to do it full time. You can do it once a year. If you got a particular area, let's say you got Orlando in your mind and you want to take the kids to Disney World or Disneyland, you can do a search and grab a house sit and save $100 a day. Well, probably in Orlando area it's more like $200 a day in hotels. But just as a place, you know, to call home. Now, it doesn't work for everyone. I mean, you have to be able to downsize big time. And like I said, I've been doing this now full time for 5 years, and I've downsized, including using the e-bike in the trunk, which takes up a lot of space. But I figure, let's say conservatively, a place to rent is going to run you right now about $2,000 to $3,000 a month. So that in itself, let's just take the 2,000 times 12, that's 24 grand. $24 grand a month or a year that you're saving. And then you put in consideration utilities, insurance, HOA fees, you know, maintenance. If you buy a house or something like that, you got those bills. So in all reality, I bet you I'm saving about 30 grand a year. And like I say, it doesn't work for everyone, but if you're able to downsize and live on a minimalistic type of budget, it's great. And these house sits are great because there's a lot of people out there that, you know, I've had a lot of people say, whatever's in the fridge, help yourself. One of my other house sits gave me a gift card to go down to the grocery store and buy food and groceries. There's other people that take you out for dinner as their kind of appreciation. There's other people that tip you, give you cash. So I'll put a link in the description for that too. And whatever the promo code is that they're currently running, I'll have that in there as well. Now we're coming up to the rotunda itself, and last time we were here we went to the left and went around the circle and came out on the trail. This time we're going to go to the right here, and I can't remember if there's an actual bike lane. I imagine there is. Stay on the road, but there's a nice sidewalk that goes around it as well. Let's see what it looks like here. No, there isn't. But there's a nice bike path here. So this is kind of like a half circle. It'll go around. And let me see what's going on here. We're going straight. No, we'll keep on going this way. Not sure what the reason they made this subdivision kind of encircling this area. Kind of looks like it's all like a wildlife preserve. And all the other they're long roadways too, without being chopped off. If you look on the map again, it's kind of interesting the way they got this, and it stands out if you look at it at the air, because you know everybody else is kind of basically blocks of roadway that form the subdivision, where this one is going around in a circle. There's some thick stuff out there, but there's a lot of wildlife. Well, this path is a little bit nicer than the other way. The other way was still kind of on the roadway. Well, there's water out there. Lord knows what's out there. I've yet to see an alligator since I've been here. Back up to roadways. Now this next roadway, we're going to be going to the right. Now, I'm not quite sure if there's a yeah, there is a bike lane. Okay, cool. think once we get back on the trail, I'm going to switch out my e-bike battery. I'm down to 1 bar. 16.4 miles right now. Rust in the water here. Look at the sprinkler did to that utility pole. Turned it brown. Alright, let's see here. I can't see what you're doing. One thing bad about having dark tinted glass, you can't tell, you know, what they're saying or doing. It's great for keeping the heat off your car. Now we're back on the Cape Haze Pioneer Trail. I think we'll just pull over to the side here. And we'll switch out the battery. Alright, got the battery switched out. And don't look like we're too far from the trailhead, so 17 miles, 1 hour on the seat. This pickup was here last time. Yeah, we're back at the trailhead, but we're going to go around the block here first. Alright, got that GoPro's battery switched out. Again. We're going to take a little shortcut through the Publix parking lot. Alright guys, appreciate you coming along for the last ride here in Port Charlotte on the Cape Haze Pioneer Trail. And we'll catch you again next time on the West Florida or the West Orange Trail. Till then, adios.
travel the country without paying for hotels or rent? House sitting lets you stay in beautiful homes for free while caring for pets. I'm currently staying in a Victorian house built in 1885 in Chicago, Illinois for free, and I'll show you exactly how to get started. My free house sitting starter guide walks you through setting up your profile, landing your first house sit, and unlocking a life of travel on a budget. Link is in the description or scan the QR code now. Grab your free copy now and start house sitting today.